Welcome to Threes and TDs, a podcast all about the National Football League and the Carolina Panthers. And today we're going to be discussing today's practice. It was a very eventful day for the Panthers today, and we're going to get right to it. Talk about the highlights, maybe some of the lowlights. But today is going to be all about the Carolina Panthers offense. And this offense had a really good day today. And we have a situation in Carolina. And the situation is that I'm saying for the first time since I've been watching the game since 2000, for the first time in probably 25 years, or even more than that, we have some serious competition at the wide receiver position. And I actually think that's a good problem to have because our wide receiver room has never been this deep. Like, we have not had a wide receiver room that is this deep and this talented. And everyone's eyes were opened on Friday when Jalen Coker came to play. And Jalen didn't stop there. Today there were there was a huge play with Bryce. It looks like he was throwing, and once again, we're just getting this from beat reporters because cameras aren't allowed. But there was a huge play where Bryce was scrambling and he throws, looks like a 50, 60 yarder to Jalen Coker. And we've got a situation now where Jalen, to me, is probably cementing himself as wide receiver 2. And if he doesn't stop, he might be cementing himself as wide receiver 1. Now, I think that's Tedero McMillan. I think his skill set is wide receiver 1. But, Jalen Coker is going to be, if he continues to do this, he is going to put himself in positions where he is going to be the wide receiver 2. Now, does that mean that that the Panthers have given up on Xavier? Absolutely not. I just don't see Jalen continuing his ascent as an undrafted rookie last year to wide receiver 2 being a problem. It's not a problem. It actually creates more competition in the wide receiver room, and it forces, I think it really forces Xavier to up his game. And I love Xavier's game. But to me, Jalen has outplayed him in the off-season workouts, in the preseason game. And, one of the other things that happened with Xavier is he was asked today by Sheena, hey, what did you think about what happened? He was smiling. He was smirking. I don't know. I could have, and I kind of said this on Twitter yesterday where I said, I don't mind Xavier having the fight on Friday. I don't mind that level of aggression by Xavier because I think that our team has been devoid of any kind of fight and, tough football for years. So I didn't think it was a huge deal. It looked like, he apologized afterwards, but I didn't love what I heard from him today in the press conference. If I'm Xavier, I want a little more professionalism. I want him to say, yeah, this is on me. But he was kind of smirking and laughing about it. So, and that's, I don't know, Xavier's young. And I'm not worried about him and his talent and who he is. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. But I didn't love that in his presser today. I would have loved for him to be, just take a little more responsibility for what he did. But yeah, Jalen is absolutely balling. He had a phenomenal practice. And, there's an interview that I heard a couple weeks ago with Kyle Bailey where Dame Morgan and company told him, hey, if you want to be a real part of this team, you're going to have to get your weight in order. You're going to have to put the work in. And Jalen he listened to what they said because his weight is down, his effort is there, everything is there. And if he continues to make plays like this week, He's going up against a really good Texans secondary in the joint practice on Thursday and at the game on Saturday. So what kind of what kind of Jalen are we going to get? And the other question is, what is Xavier going to do? Is Xavier going to come and also play in the same way that he was, or is he going to up his game? So once again, I think it's a good problem to have when we're arguing about wide receiver 2, when we have come from Jonathan Mingo, when we have come from Terrace Marshall, when we have come from DJ Chark. Good God, right? Like, this is a good problem to have when you have a lot of competition. And that doesn't even, we're not even talking about competition for the slot position. I mean, we've got Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow, and Jimmy Horn. And, you know, in today's presser, Dave Canales was asked again. He was asked again, hey, like, are you, Jimmy's 7th on your depth chart? And he said, he's going to have to show us that he needs to be on the field. So I think it would be a mistake for Jimmy Horn to not make the team. But I don't know. When you have like Hunter Renfrow, by the way, he was back at practice today. So when you have Hunter Renfrow and Adam Thielen, once again, that is competition at the slot position, which I think is really, really, really good. I'm going to make another video specifically talking about like Chuba Hubbard, but like he is the leader of this, especially the offense, but I would even say this team. There was a situation today where one of the linebackers, Christian, I think, like did something to an offensive player, and like Chuba was the first one that said, we're not doing this, and they almost got into a fight. And if you look at the tape from last year, like Chuba consistently not only backed it up with his play on the field, but he also he is a vocal leader of this team. Something that I don't think this team has had since Cam Newton. Like, he is that guy. Bryce, I love Bryce, but Bryce is never going to be the rah-rah guy. That's just not who he is. Bryce is he's a California guy. He went to school in Pasadena. Like, he's not that guy. Chuba is. And I love what I'm seeing out of Chuba and how he is the leader of this offense. And he's not going to take like crap from anybody. And we need that. Like, we really, 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 really need that. Another fantastic day from Bryce. He looked really good. There was some rain. But yeah, and there were some good things on defense too that we didn't get to today. And we'll probably talk a little more about that. But all the reports said that Derek Brown looked really, really good. And I'm telling y'all, the rise of Bobby Brown III and the rise of Wharton and that interior defensive line, this team on that D line is going to be better than it was last year. And to be honest, it can only go up. We were historically bad on that interior defensive line. And my concern, especially after watching some of the All-22 on Friday, is not our defensive line. It's more the back half of that defense. Like, what's going to happen in that linebacker room? What's going to happen with the safeties and the cornerbacks? So we'll see. But those are the updates for today. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm trying to create more of these kind of long form videos. I'll continue to do it daily or by like every other day as much as I can. But thank you all for liking, subscribing, and see y'all in the next one.